Anything that can be measured is Maya by U.G. Krishnamurti's grandmother. Hello everyone, this is BB Flower, author of young adult sci-fi romantic fiction books with a strong undertone of metaphysical philosophies and Indic mythology. My books are available on Amazon and are free to borrow with Kindle Unlimited subscription. Today I want to talk about Maya or illusion. A lot of people understand this word Maya as illusion, and to a layman it would not make any sense, because to us what we can touch is there as it impacts us factually. We can't run around saying it is an illusion in general sense. So I'm going to attempt to simplify this by honing on science and, of course, metaphysical. So let us start with what is blatantly obvious to us. We are made of matter and we need energy to sustain. That much no one can refute. And in my latest book that I released a few days ago has this Maya as the fundamental. Every living or non-living thing has energy expressed as matter in them. The expression could end by any means, natural, unnatural, accidental. But the question is, do you believe in meta theory about Maya? And in my book, I've written that the human form doesn't differentiate between itself and its surroundings, and that it is the mind that realizes the perception of the matter loading the image and physicality. Memory right as experienced by thought takes place instantly and continually, creating the idea of object, subject, and act of seeing, implying that senses don't capture anything, and it is the thought that employs them as an input channel. So in this case, matter is all but illusion. It is applied knowledge at play. And UG had said that there is no such thing as even depth or any other dimensions that we are, using in science to measure everything. Now, let's look at it scientifically. I'm not talking about, one of those science enthusiasts that read something from here, pick a few things from there, and then, they blindly preach it as a hard and fast rule, because science is based on assumptions. Property of matter and energy is assumed to be constant. In my new book, the main character asks this question: what if a metal you have based all your technology on mutates? Because it's a genuine question. It is something that we would never even think about, because we are assuming that the property of metal won't change. And I have said this in some previous podcast. I have said this because it's a possibility. What if that happens? Mutation is possible. It happens. It is something that we just wouldn't question at all. I'm writing this new book that gives fictitious story around reversing the Earth's magnetic field or polarization. Now, if you go on the internet, there are tons of theories that are floating around about this, and some are even predicting that it's going to happen in 2025. An assumption that a given matter behaves in a certain way is how our life goes on. But again, this whole theory that's on the internet about the Earth's magnetic field flip, all of those are again based on some root assumption, an assumption that a given matter behaves in a certain way. So they are predicting that when this switch in magnetic field would occur, such and such disasters would follow. But it is based on the assumption that all of the rest would remain the same, even though something as Goliath as the Earth's magnetic field would flip. Then can the known matter not change or mutate or behave differently? It could. You're assuming that only one thing is going to change and the rest would behave like this if that happens. I don't know. I can't back that theory. the fundamental regulation of today's technological world is based on information, data. And recording this data is based on an assumption on how it can be copied and stored for use because of certain way a matter behaves. And it is all electromagnetic. And there are so many things that can cause this EMI or electromagnetic interference, or radio frequency interference is also what it's called, like the solar flares, which I think all of us know. Even the things around us, like can cause this interference, like a lightning storm. The cellular network is known to cause this kind of interference, and even when you start your car, the ignition that can interfere with it. All of them can cause this interference. Now let's leave the mutation deal aside, okay? And all these scientists that have really dug deep into the depth of elements, or the depth of our existence, which is elements, have realized that it is nothing but space with energy bouncing, basically frequency at the core of everything. And so that fast movement is what gives the illusion of things. No one has seen it. No one has seen these neutrons, protons, electrons. They can't. It is the effect that is interpreted, and an image has been built of how an atom or the molecules are structured. In essence, there is just some energy bouncing around. And that is exactly what creation is, here and there, everywhere, but not there. And that is what omnipresence is, or Maya is, quantification of its expression. But if you get too deep, the separation would increase and you wouldn't find anything other than some energy bouncing around. I want to end with an excerpt from my new book, Yama, Echo, Maya. That's the title of the book. The premise is that, the excerpt that I'm reading, the premise is that Yam or Yama is standing everywhere, like it's everywhere. And a human who would go on to be a sage later on is fumbling to make sense of that. He's watching Yam everywhere, like he's just standing everywhere. So the human is asking, how is this possible? And Yam replies, just as the creation exists far and wide by transmitting as frequency, manifesting into the matter, and expressing the illusion of everything, my form vibrates, creating an impression of my many selves, proliferating into countless avatars. As a drop of the ocean that is also the ocean, my embodiments are also me. Just as our life that we reflect on is a sample of the cosmic flow, and a sample of that flow is also whole, one and complete, not a part of one, but one. That is me. This is me. The one that has separated from me also persists as me. So the human wonders out loud after listening to that. And he says, so it's not anything mystical that needs deciphering. And Yam says, perhaps it means that you can separate yourself from your entirety. Hence, the cosmic objects are one and the same. Well, thank you for listening. This is author BB Flower signing off. Until next time. Bye-bye.